Yeah. From the barrel to the birds, nigga.
So, I noticed every time there's a great atrocity in a black neighborhood or in the African communities, we get all riled up. We want to protest, you know what I'm saying, over police brutality, over one of our own getting harmed or killed. Wherever it may be, whatever happened, like I said, whenever there's a great atrocity that happens in the black community, we get so passionate, but then days, weeks later, we just totally calm down. Like we just forget, it's almost like we forgot about everything. You know? We don't create anything, there's nothing that ripples over from that. So, I was analyzing that for a couple years. Ever since the Troy Davis case, the Trayvon Martin case, which I actually spoke on in downtown Miami. I spoke at one of the rallies for Trayvon Martin, and it's something I'm passionate about as well. But I noticed after the case, even sometimes days later or a week later, a lot of people that are so passionate about it, my close friends or people I have talked to about the matter, that was so passionate about these incidents happening, they totally calmed down, went right back to work and school like nothing ever happened. So this made me think, there is a reason why. What is the reason why African people or melanated people, we're not able, or people in general, even in the Caucasian neighborhood, we can't focus, we can't have longevity when it comes to something that willful. Our willpower is killed. Well, I jotted down a couple reasons or a couple of things that may be, holding us back from displaying our full willpower. Number one on the list is fluoride. I'm going to read some notes I took down about fluoride, giving you guys a little bit of history on fluoride and how it affects us with the defects or the things that it causes within our bodies. Starting off with fluoride. Fluoride was used by Hitler during the World War II and also by the Russians in an attempt to make the population more docile. Fluoride also is a principal ingredient in many antidepressant drugs such as Prozac because of its ability to numb the mind to a degree. And fluoride was a key in the worst air population disaster in the U.S. history. In Donora, Pennsylvania, that killed 20 people and hospitalized over 7,000 between October 26th and 31st, 1948. So, as you can see from that right there, it's putting drugs like Prozac that calms and numbs the mind to a certain degree. I'll keep reading. Because of the mind-altering effects of fluoride in the early 1950s, the notorious spin master and father of advertising, Edward Bernays, continued the campaign for adding fluoride to water supplies as an experiment in engineering human consent. Then the ADA picked up the dental issues and endorsed sodium fluoride's addition to water supplies. The fluoride used for water fluoridation does not have FDA approval and is considered by the FDA as an unapproved drug. The proper use of any drug requires both informed consent and understanding of how much is too much. As they say, the dose makes the poison. This is the main reason fluoridation is banned in much of Europe. Generally, most fluoride entering the body is not easily eliminated and tends to accumulate in the bones and teeth. Recently, it has been discovered to accumulate also in the thyroid gland, as well as the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, located in the middle of the brain. And if you have kidney problems, it is well known that you must avoid fluoride and fluoridated water at all costs, or risk life-threatening consequences. So the last statement I said there was that it affects the pituitary gland, the thyroid gland. The spiritual community, the conscious community, know how important those glands are for the development of our body and to be connected with the divine creator. You know what I'm saying? Or to be connected with nature. So, I mean, it also destroys our willpower. Like in the 60s and 70s during the civil rights movement, we were able to get up, we were able to be strong, we didn't have so much distractions. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into more of the distractions later, but what affects our biological frame and our mental network, one of the main things is fluoride that they put in our water. Remember that we're 75% water. Some people say 80% water. Our physical anatomy. You know what I'm saying? And incompatible with Mother Nature. Because the planet is 75% water. So they polluted our water supply back in 1960s. You know what I'm saying? With fluoride. I will keep reading. What are the effects of fluoride water? It's cancerous. Genetic DNA damages. It can damage your DNA, your genetics. Thyroid disruption. The pituitary gland is greatly affected by fluoride, which in turn affects the complete endocrine system and leads to obesity. That's why people are so obese in America. Along with the McDonald's and all the other crazy shit that we take in our body. People with thyroid diseases are advised to avoid fluoride water. Neurological impairment. The toxic effects of fluoride on the central nervous system is confirmed by the previously classified government research. Many studies confirm fluoride neurotoxic effects on the brain and have shown the children exposed to high levels of fluoride had low IQs, like low IQ levels. Birth defects. Cystic acne, also called fluoroderma. Melatonin disruption. So the melatonin production in our body, you know what I'm saying, that helps us sleep and help us function, help us correlate and correspond with nature, is affected by the fluoride we take in our body. Correct? So it also lowers the immunity to cancer, accelerates aging, sleep disorders, pineal gland disorders, pineal gland classification, which clogs the gland located in the middle of the brain. It increases the risk of bone fractures because it weakens the bone. Sometimes you can see it in people's teeth. It is estimated that 1 in 3 of all, to my point, is fluoride is one of the main things that affect us when it comes to our willpower. And I'll go on to another thing. And this right here is called the Military Doctrine Papers, Mind War, by Michael Aquino. It was written in 1980, the beginning of the Ronald Reagan administration. I'm going to go and read on. This is a document, you know what I'm saying? You guys can find this online. It's called, like I said, it's called Military Doctrine Papers, Mind Wars. Everyone can go check this out online if you get a chance. Hopefully you guys take time and check this out because this is really important. It talks about how we are affected and controlled mentally through things like ELF waves, you know what I'm saying? And different chemicals and radioactive waves and things of that sort. Mind War is a weapon system which uses existing communication media that map the minds and changes them according to the U.S. national interests. It attacks willpower before it's locked in place. Strategically, mind war must begin the moment war is considered to be inevitable. It must seek out the attention of the enemy nation through every available medium, striking at the nation's soldiers before they put on their uniforms, before soldiers even get ready to go to war, before we even get ready to protest. They're already affecting us through the media, through radioactive waves. But I'll read on. It is in their homes and their communities that they are most vulnerable to mind war. Question: was the U.S. defeated in the jungles of Vietnam, or was it defeated on the streets of the American cities? because at that time a lot of Americans were protesting, trying to stop the war. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff going on home in America while they're out there trying to fight. So we seen what was going on in Vietnam, but we were so passionate that we wanted to stop it. We couldn't just sit around while these American soldiers killed hundreds of Vietnamese. So we was here protesting day after day. So much willpower, which really disrupted their ability to function properly. In this strategic context, mind war must reach out to friends, enemies, and mutuals alike across the globe through the media possessed by the U.S., who had the capabilities to reach virtually all peoples on the face of the earth. For the mind to believe its own decision, it must feel that it made these decisions without influence. Mind war identifies purely psychological factors which suggest appropriate idioms for messages. Let me read that over. Mind war identify purely psychological factors which suggest appropriate idioms for messages. These are some purely natural conditions under which minds may become more or less receptive to ideas, and mind war should take full advantage of this phenomenon. As atmospheric electromagnetic activity, extremely low frequency waves, air ionization that's things like chemtrails with heavy strong metals that affect the foods we eat and our anatomy as well, what we have to breathe in, it affects our whole body. I'm gonna read that over. As atmospheric electromagnetic activity, extremely low frequency waves, ELF waves, air ionization, and other natural conditions under which the mind may become more or less receptive to ideas. So it's basically dumbing us down mentally. If we do not accept Excalibur, then we relinquish our ability to inspire foreign countries with our morality. If they then desire moralities unsatisfactory to us, we have no choice but to fight them on a much brutal level. You know what I'm saying? So if the techniques that they're using, radioactive waves, ELF waves, air ionization, if those things are not working, then the U.S. will have to fight them on a more brutal scale. You get what I'm saying? You have to step it up a notch. ELF waves. What are ELF waves? ELF waves are up to 100 hertz and are more naturally occurring, but they can also be produced artificially, such as the Navy's Project Sandrine. You guys probably heard of that, for submarine communication. ELF waves are not normally noticed by the aided senses, yet they resonate. They resonate. Effect on the human body has been connected to physiological disorders and emotional distortion. Infrasound vibration up to 20 hertz can subliminally influence brain activity to align itself to theta, alpha, or beta wave, inclining an audience towards everything to alertness or passivity. Passivity as in passive, docile, not too aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what these things are doing, ELF wave, actual low frequencies, the infrasound waves, they're weakening our mental state. You know what I'm saying? Our mental, we can't reason properly, we can't think, we can't get ideas, we can't create. They're destroying our creativity. That's how they get into the pineal gland, because that's our connection, that's how we create. The pituitary gland develops our body. You know what I'm saying? And our pineal gland, it gives us the creativity to create like a creator, like the divine creator, like nature. Infrasound can be used tactically as ELF waves, which can endure for great distances, and it can be used in conjunction with the media broadcast as well. So that means through your TV, your television, your phone. While you're watching your TV or playing Pandora, there could be low frequency waves sent through these devices and affect your mental state. You know what I'm saying? So in other than creating and using music and things of that sort to create and become better and stronger as a people, they're using our tools, the things that we get in tune with our soul with, music, I wouldn't say television, but music and things of that sort, to destroy us with low frequency waves. I'll finish. F waves can be used in conjunction with television and radio to ensure the extremely low frequency mind war attack signal will be piggybacked on TV carrier waves to target civilian populations in their homes to install fear and terror prior to the start of conflict. Now I'll read that one more time. F waves, extra low frequency waves, can be used in conjunction with television, radio to ensure the extremely low frequency mind war attack signal will be piggybacked on TV carrier waves to target civilian populations in their homes to instill fear and terror prior to the start of conflict. Prior to the start of conflict. So the power of F waves to change the mood and thought of any population was well understood by the US government. So, the power of extra low frequencies to change the mood and thought. You could be in a happy mood. You turn on your television, you channel your Fox News, and then your whole mood is destroyed because they use tactics through news, television, also with the low vibrational frequency wave to change up your whole mood or to have you thinking something crazy in your mind. If these F waves turn on friendly populations, it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to detect influences. I'll read that over. If these F waves turn on friendly populations, it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to detect its influence. Because we're talking about frequencies, we're talking about vibrational frequency waves that affect us. When you see all these towers up around the neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? They're being beamed out at us. Now getting back to the fluoride. The fluoride is more effective of the ghetto neighborhoods because we're the less fortunate, we can't afford it. If you look at fluoride, it was a lot of Caucasians making arguments about how it's not good, how it's unhealthy, blah, blah, which they even did mention there was other ways that you can accumulate water and things of that sort that may not be fluoridized. But mentioning the ghetto neighborhoods that cannot afford it will be much more fluoridized or much more affected by this chemical that's inserted into the water system. Also affecting the brain development of babies, because when mothers now use these baby formulas, they use tap water to mix the formula so the baby can drink it, other than using their natural breast milk, because we're being brainwashed nowadays. But other distractions on top of the biological and mental distortions that's going on within our physical frame that's caused by chemicals or low frequency vibrational waves or F waves, extra low frequencies. We have the media, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, television, Netflix, all these distractions that keeps us tuned in on our phone like this 24/7. I was in New York last week. I'm on a train, everybody on the train's on their phone, just like this. Older people, younger people on their phone, just like this, playing video games, on Instagram, on Twitter. When these things they're taking our mind, they're making us become zombies. We have to stand up again, we have to stop fearing. They said they install fear in us. The Mind War papers I just read to you, they install fear into us prior to conflict. Prior to the conflict even beginning. Now you're wondering why every time you're on your television, Fox News, CNN, there's always some crazy shit going on, someone getting killed, or everything going on in the Middle East, this, that, and the third. Just bad news. It destroys our mental state. It makes us vibrate on a low frequency state. And the genetically modified foods, I won't go too deep in that. But the things that we eat, it also affect our energy and our willpower and the things that we can do, or the things that we're capable of doing. You know what I'm saying? So Melanated people and people all over the world, it's time for us to wake up. Fluoridation in our water, a chemical like that in our water, that's a disease. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to come together and stop something like that. You know what I'm saying? Turn something like that around. You know what I'm saying? Time for us to wake up. Melanated people, we are spiritual. We cannot die. There's nothing to fear. You know what I'm saying? So their main thing is making us vibrate on a fearful level, being afraid of something. We shouldn't be afraid of nothing. We're eternal. We cannot die. You know what I'm saying? We're everlasting. Even when you go to your religious test, it tell you after you die, you go somewhere after this. So that means you cannot die. Energy does not die. All it does is transfer. I will always keep repeating that because we should not be vibrating on a level of fear. We are gods. We are made. We are eternal. We need to stop the game. It's time for us to take control. You know what I'm saying? We're in tune with nature. We're the original people. Let's act like it. You know what I'm saying? Let's make a change.
I just keep it G, homie, and abide by the code. I'm a own man, never confined, or controllers live in society where you're defined by your clothes. Defined by what you have, never ever what you know. Intelligence is the key. How you expect you're gonna grow? Nigga, how you expect you're gonna grow? Battle who, what, where? I expect you was gonna show, nigga.